had a great relationship with my parents when I was a kid, and it helped me the way I treat my wife. I would see how he treated his children. You know what I mean? And so that's those are key components for helping a child develop into an adult, right? I mean, one of the things that I always am conscious of is that you and your sister and your brothers are always watching me too. So I try to be a better example, knowing that I have 4 sets of eyes, 8 eyes looking at me in my every move. Right? I did the same thing to my dad. Same thing to my mom. Well, having grown up in a pretty rough area, in a pretty bad neighborhood, and having seen a lot of bullying and a lot of crap like that, back when I was a kid, I mean, it was all about just staying out of the way of the gangbangers and the people that just were the bad elements, so to speak, and just trying to stay off of their radar, so you didn't draw that attention to yourself. And the coping mechanism that I had was I just surrounded myself with people that were positive influences, that were like-minded, kids that were like me, athletic into sports. Not as well as what I should. I probably get a little bit more. I probably let my anger show a lot more than what I should. We all have had bosses that we just don't like, and they don't like us, and we still gotta get up in the morning and go grind and do your job and do it to the best of your ability, no matter what. Right? I'm a lot more. I think my composure is a lot better. Back when you're a kid, you just your knee-jerk reaction is to go to an extreme reaction, right? Which is violence, or which is fighting, or whatever. I definitely don't like to let it get to that point. As an adult, obviously. Having positive role models in my life, positive mentors in my life that I would see their reaction to somebody that is unruly, or somebody that is contacting you because out of anger. That happens a lot. Happens a lot every day in business, and also just growing up and taking a more realistic approach. I've always been more of a leader than a follower. Back when I was a kid, it just looking back on it now, I was the guy that said, "Hey, let's play ball," or "Hey, let's go to a concert," and my buddies would all just kind of rally around that, or whatever. I think the best advice that I could give somebody about, trying something new, trying something that like you say is out of their comfort level, or out of their comfort zone, is life is too short. Don't let those opportunities pass you by, right? I mean, nothing's guaranteed, and nobody's going to give you anything. Sometimes you got to just be assertive and take it, right? 90% of what I do is just getting to know people, right? And I've become really good at that. I can sit down in an office meeting somebody for the very first time and scan their office, and already and within 10-15 seconds know exactly what we're going to talk about, and how I'm going to break the ice, and how I'm going to make them feel comfortable talking to me. To learn how to absolutely 110% put yourself second. Well, I think when I married your mother, it just became all about, my life became all about making her happy. That's what I wanted. That's why I asked her to marry me, because I knew I could do that with her, right? And then when I had you kids, it became all about whatever's going to make them happy, right? And that's, I think, in relationships and friendships, the friends the friends that I hold true and dear to my heart, I know that they would drop what they're doing if I asked them to, and to come and help me with anything, right? Right? It's a two-way street. If it's a one-way street, those relationships never last. No, I think my mom and I have always been really close, you know. It made me probably appreciate her here, you know, knowing that, you know, when my dad passed away, I mean, I didn't expect it, you know, but it made me appreciate having my mom still, you know. You know, he was only 58 years old. He was really young, right? But you know, my dad didn't take very good care of himself. So in that respect, I always knew, you know, if he doesn't take better care of himself, we won't have him for very long, right? So, but you know, I was able to grieve. You know, I was able to grieve. I mean, I still miss him every day. You know, it's never gonna change it. You know, but it's not. You're not meant to. It's not meant to get easy. You just get stronger, right? It's still not easy, but I'm stronger in the sense that I can. Emotionally, I can handle it and accept it and know that he's gone, but I'll see him again one day. Right? Oh, heck yeah, dude. What not to do, you know? My dad was everything in excess, you know? A lot of drinking, heavy smoker. I mean, you know, didn't watch what he didn't eat healthy, you know? You know, did a lot of stuff he shouldn't have done, you know, so I learned what not to do, absolutely, you know, and I think that's you know, those are valuable lessons too. I mean, in his own way, he taught me how to better prepare myself to be here longer for you kids, right? So that this way I can see you kids grow up and get married and have kids of your own and be a part of your life. What I've learned, what I take away the most, I think, from my marriage to your mother, I think is just the overall understanding of the mutual commitment. You know, like there's nothing in this world that she wouldn't do for me, and vice versa, right? There's nothing in this world that I wouldn't do for your mother, right? And, you know, I think we've lasted so long because, you know, I don't ever look at it like it's a burden. You know what I mean? Even when things aren't so great, you know, I can still remember the day that I walked in and saw her, and my gut and my heart just told me, go talk to this girl, or you're never going to get this chance ever again. Right? I mean, that was all I needed. That's all the proof I needed. Right there. Well, to my good friends, I feel very well connected. You know, there's that mutual respect, right? There's that mutual understanding. You know, I learned something a long time ago. That old saying, when people come into your life for a short period of time, that's all they were meant to be in your life for, and then it's time to move on. But the true friends, the ones that'll be there for years and years, that will stand the test of time with you, you know, that communication and that mutual respect will always be there. Like I said earlier, relationships, it's a two-way street. Whether it's a marriage, a friendship, a partnership, a business relationship, it's a two-way street. I think if you're smart, you don't stop. I think if one of the philosophies I have in life and in business is I constantly try to learn. If you stop learning, you're 6 feet under. That's the way I look at it. You always got to be open to new things and reinvent yourself if you have to, and you know, because if you stay stagnant, you get passed, right? You just get passed on by. But I think as long as you're willing to learn. And I think that's what's made me so successful with my job, is that I adapt. Whatever changes come, man, I'm all for it, and I'll support it 100%. So, did I answer the question? And edit that part out, because that's not politically correct. Did you do your essay, by the way?
No,
you didn't do it,
I
did you?
didn't do it. This is my last question.
Thank goodness.
Sorry.
Oh, maybe you should ask your mom how well I do that. She always tells me, "You're not listening to me." Don't ever argue with your mother. That's plain and simple. Go Mariners.
Oh my